And we are back. Match day 5 is complete. We've gone from 3 teams with 100% records to 2. The last 2 teams standing, Chelsea top of the league and Liverpool in second, separated by a goal difference. It's the Sanderson show and we're back. Stay tuned as we look at the fixtures that have just happened. So hi guys, it's me again. I'm going to start slightly different. I usually do the games in order of how they were played. However, I'm going to leave the Liverpool and Tottenham game till last because I think that was probably the most anticipated game of the weekend. So I'm actually going to start with Man City versus Fulham. Now on the last show I spoke with a friend of mine, Josh, and we spoke about the game and we both came to the conclusion that the game was Man City's. It was going to be however they wanted to play it and they weren't going to lose at the Etihad to Fulham, with all due respect to Fulham. And they did exactly what they had to do. 3-0, 3 points, nice and simple, routine win for Man City. But one thing you've got to look at with Man City is that consistency. They've still got that drive, they've still got that hunger to succeed. And that can only be derived from Pep Guardiola. We've seen in the footage from All or Nothing just how passionate he is about football, just how much of a mad genius he is, so to speak. And you're seeing that right now. You're seeing just how much he's onto the players. You saw him speak about Leroy Sané a couple of weeks ago, saying that he wasn't happy with his attitude in training, and that says a lot. Leroy Sané walked into most teams in the Premiership, if not all. But he pulled him aside, he did what he had to do, and he did it publicly, which is not like Pep either. But he knows when to do it and when not to do it. And he did it to absolute perfection. And he got a performance out of Leroy Sané, but not just Leroy Sané, he got a performance out of Manchester City. And again, I look at the team, I look at the squad, and they're missing a few key players. Kevin De Bruyne is still out, and I still don't see them losing a foothold of this championship race. Granted, they're not top of the league at the moment, but they still haven't lost this season. And it's going to take a mighty effort for a team to beat them this season. And it just remains to be seen who is going to be that team. I mean, they picked up several straight wins last season before they got derailed. But even after they lost that first game of the season, they went on and they just dominated more games. So, I mean, I've still got them as my pick to win the league. What do you guys think? Was it another easy game for City and it's too early to judge them based off that performance? Or do you still think Pep Guardiola is the man to carry them to further glory? I mean, they've got a Champions League game this week against Lyon and they've actually been tipped to win the trophy itself. It'd be a massive coup for Man City. Are they ready to compete on both angles of the Premier League and the Champions League? Only time will tell, but I see them topping their group and going through easy. They've been handed quite an easy group, so only time will tell and we'll see. Let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments in the section below. Now we move on to, as I call them, sorry soldiers, top of the league, the Blues. Can't fault them. They've not played anyone of significance apart from Arsenal, but they've done what they've had to do. Collected 3 points. They're sitting on 15 points for the season, 10 plus for goal difference, and they're top of the league. You can't argue with it. An Italian came in a couple of years ago and completely transformed Chelsea, and when no one had given them a chance of winning the league, and now it seems another Italian's come in and done the exact same. Will it continue? Will they be able to sustain this charge? Again, only time will tell. I mean, Europa League kicks in and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. If you're hearing any noise, it's a bird on the roof. It's not me doing anything under the table. So don't be alarmed. So with Sarri, you're seeing him being able to get the best out of his players, something that Conte couldn't do last season. And the player he's getting the most out of is the magician himself, Eden Hazard. And his gameplay this weekend was it was nothing short of world class. The first goal, he made it look so easy, but it was far from it. The ball's come to him, it was a lovely flick by Giroud. He's dummied it in the first place, he's come and collected it again. The second dummy is the one that really just takes the whole defence out of the game. He drops his shoulder, lets the ball run across his body and just takes it in his stride. One-on-one with the goalkeeper, but he's still got a difficult angle and he's placed it, the only place he could place it, in the back of the net. And it changed the whole atmosphere in the ground and it changed the whole dynamic of the game. Who better than Eden Hazard right now? Not many. He is in the top 5 of the world's best right now as we speak. And yes, I'm just going off form, but talent-wise, he's got everything in his locker. He's got skill, he's got strength, he can pass, he can create, and he can score goals with both feet. There's not much he can't do. The only problem with Eden Hazard has been his mentality. Has he always been on it? Because let's be honest, when he's on it, no one's touching him, no one's getting close. But we see his form up and down a lot of the times, and sometimes he gets criticised for not getting enough goals and assists, but if he continues to play how he's playing so far this season, then he's going to be nothing short of brilliant, and he could potentially be the best player in the Premier League, and he could drive Chelsea on to do great things. So it was another routine win again for Chelsea, just as we said it would be. Cardiff City, a team I've proposed to go down this season. I don't think they've got enough within their squad. And although they did play really well up until they conceded the equaliser, I still don't see them having enough. And again, another routine win for Chelsea. So Chelsea fans, let me know what you think. I know there was a lot of scepticism before the season started. Has Sarri changed your mind? Has Sarri soldiers giving you that uplifting spirit? Do you think Sarri soldiers are going to win the league? Leave your comments in the section below. And another win for Jose Mourinho and Manchester United. You've got to hand it to him. Watford have been on a real tear so far this season, and they haven't lost since May of last season. And they've been really good. You saw them dispose of Tottenham last week. Troy Deeney was excellent in that game. And let's be honest, Manchester United really put them to the sword in the first half. And I have to give a massive shout out to Paul Pogba. He gets so much criticism, and sometimes justified, sometimes it's not, sometimes it's over the top. And he's a player that I always expect a bit more out of. He's got all the potential and he's got all the attributes to be the world's best, and sometimes he plays within himself. But this game against Watford, he really showed what he could do. He dictated this game, especially in the first half. His passing, dare I say it, was Paul Scholes-esque. Right foot, left foot, short, long, mid. Any type of pass you wanted, he'd deliver it. The amount of times he was collecting the ball and he was spraying it to Valencia, he was spraying it to Ashley Young, and he made it look so effortless. He was collecting the ball, he was driving past the defenders, he was driving past midfield, he was breaking the lines, and he made things so much easier for someone like Jesse Lingard to be that constant pest in and around the defence and just buzz around Lukaku. Again, Lukaku didn't have a brilliant game. We all know about his touch. It's like playing with a brick wall, but it happens. But he did what he's paid to do, and he scored a goal again. And his goal changed the whole dynamic of the game. Watford were just starting to come back into it a little bit. He scored, and then we had another goal scorer, unexpected goal scorer. His new hairstyle makes him look like a UK drill artist, but Chris Smalling, he did it. And it was a really good finish. A lot of composure in the goal as well. He took it on his chest, turned, didn't at any point look fazed by the situation he was in, and he blasted it past the former Manchester United goalkeeper Ben Foster. A great finish. But also, I've got a shout out to another player from Manchester United, a player that I'm highly critical of, a player that, if I'm going to be completely honest, is absolutely horrible to watch on the eye, but Fellaini, he did a great job. He played that role in midfield, and he just drifted in and made a three-man defence whenever Troy Deeney or Andre Gray were attacking. He also won a lot of balls in the air as well, something that we know he's one of the best at doing that. And it was his assist to Chris Smalling that really killed off the game. And let's be honest, when Manchester United go 2-0 up, rarely do they surrender that lead. And as soon as they went 2-0 up against Watford, you knew what was going to happen. Watford may have got a goal, but it weren't going to be two. And again, David De Gea pulled off some great saves again, but what else does he do? It's what he does, isn't it? Best keeper in the world, in my opinion. Has been for a few years, and he does what he does. He's the cream of the crop, and he's there as the goalkeeper to always back up Manchester United's defence, and that's what a top goalkeeper does. You can be quiet for however many minutes, the birdie's back, can be quiet for however many minutes, and he just pulls off a save. So again, massive congratulations to Manchester United. They've ended Watford's 4-game winning streak, and they were the first team to inflict damage and show vulnerabilities in Watford's team. So you have to give massive credit to Manchester United and Jose Mourinho for his tactics. So fans, you tell me, does this make you forgive Jose a little bit more? Or do you still think there's still a long way to go and the season's still long, and you think that there's still holes in that team that need to be plugged? Me personally, I think they're going to go on and continue to be more consistent. I still don't think they'll win the league. I still think they'll finish third this season. But finishing third behind Man City and, in my opinion, Liverpool, I don't think you can really say that's a bad season considering the teams that Liverpool and Man City have and the style of football they play. But again, you guys let me know. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Is Mourinho still the right man? Did he prove a lot of his doubters wrong? Or are you still looking for that Zinedine Zidane inspiration? So as I said at the beginning of the show, I was going to do things slightly backwards this week and leave the game of the weekend till last. And I wouldn't say it necessarily lived up to expectations, but it was still a very intriguing game nonetheless. And the game I'm talking about is none other than Liverpool versus Tottenham at Wembley. Now this game was meant to be at the new White Hart Lane. It didn't happen. You'll have to ask Daniel Levy why. I don't know. But it happened at Wembley, and to be honest, before the game, I was very nervous. I remembered what happened last season at Wembley. I had flashbacks. I didn't sleep very well that night. I didn't sleep very well on Friday night because I was nervous about the game. But for minute one, Liverpool went to Wembley and they stamped their authority on the game. Had a goal disallowed in the first couple of minutes, and it was just offside, so no complaints there. But after that, Liverpool did dominate the game, and you have to give massive credit to that team for going there and playing that style of football against a Tottenham team who have been rampant at Wembley at certain times. But they just weren't at it, and I'm quick to say that Liverpool were fortunate in the fact that Lloris and Ali were both out. And a lot of people will say, well, we've had injuries in the past. Yeah, we have, but losing Ali and Lloris to play Liverpool is a massive, massive blow. It's the equivalent of us losing Alisson and let's say Mane for the game. We would have struggled in the same way they did. They couldn't get a foothold in midfield. James Milner was brilliant again. He's one of those players, he can be really frustrating because sometimes his technique lets him down, but his work rate, his endeavour, his passion and his final delivery at times is absolutely brilliant. And he does lead by example when he's on that pitch, whether he's wearing the captain's armband or not. Keita had a good game. Jorginho Wijnaldum was excellent again, and they just literally stranglehold that midfield of Tottenham's. Eric Dyer didn't have a great game, didn't cover himself in glory, and I really do think they're missing Victor Wanyama in that holding midfield role at Tottenham. But I mean, Tottenham did have their chance as well. Lucas Moura was bright throughout. He had that chance where he dribbled past Gomez and hit the post when he wrong-footed Alisson. But honestly, apart from that, they didn't have much in terms of attacking-wise. Now, there's claims that the last kick of the game was a penalty. It should have been a penalty to Son as Mane clipped his foot. He did clip his foot, and maybe he's a bit unlucky, but I personally don't know if it was a penalty or not. Maybe I'm being a bit biased, but I remember Lamella last season going down like he'd been shot by Chuck Norris, and he got a penalty when he shouldn't have. So, I mean, maybe it was a penalty, but either way, Liverpool dominated this game from start to finish, and it should have been a lot more. I mean, the goal, it was 2-1, and it should have really been about 5 or 6, and that's something Liverpool need to work on. They need to have that ruthlessness and that cutting edge, because had Tottenham played Man City would have probably run out 4-5-1 winners that game. So again, Liverpool did what they had to do. They came against another title rival, a top 4 rival, and they secured the 3 points away from home. And if you had said to any Liverpool fan before the game, would you take a 2-1 at Tottenham? Everyone would have said yes. So I mean, guys, what do you think? Do you think Tottenham not spending is going to cost them? Do you think it showed up apparent in this game, or do you just think Liverpool just outclassed them? And what do you think about Liverpool? I mean, they're starting to build up that confidence. Do you think they will maintain this run? They've got PSG in the next game in the Champions League, and Tottenham have got Inter Milan, 2 massive games. And do you think we'll now see where Liverpool are at against one of Europe's elite? If they get absolutely battered, then we'll know that their quality is just Premier League level. But if they go out and they do a real job on PSG, it's going to make people sit up and take notice. So, I mean, let me know what you guys think. I'll be tuning into the Liverpool PSG game, and I'll be dropping a review after that game and a preview for the next weekend's fixtures. So, once again, guys, thanks very much for joining me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and tell someone about the show. And also, if you want to come on the show and debate football with me, feel free to come on. I'll leave my details in the description below. Once again, guys, thanks very much for watching, and you've been watching the Sanderson Show.